it all depends on my decision. Like if I decide to be efficient with my day or with my hour or what have you, then I am.
Hello and welcome to Pillars of Wealth Creation, where we talk about creating financial success with a special focus on business and real estate. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. Now, let's get to it. Hello and welcome back to Pillars of Wealth Creation. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. With me, as always, on these Wednesdays, we got Matt Jones. Matt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about you, Todd?
I'm doing excellent, man. Just excited to be here and rock and roll. And we got a lot going on. We keep getting properties, so that's great. The market is really crazy right now. Very competitive. I'm interested to see what happens, Matt, with these changing of interest rates. And I've actually, there's a couple things. So I've been selling some properties, some of my local properties that I have that are single family homes, duplexes. I'm just kind of done with them. I'm done with the city of St. Paul. I'm done with really probably the city of Minneapolis too. I've talked about, I think I talked about it last week or the week before. They think landlords are parasites. So I'm just kind of done with them. And so regardless, I'm selling some stuff and it's been interesting. I just put a property on the market. Not that great of a property, to be honest with you. It's small. The outside hasn't been very well maintained. The inside, we did do some fixing up, but it's still just not great. And it's sold for a price that I just can't believe I was able to get that price happily. I have to say. Now we'll see. They have inspections and we still have to get to the closing table and all that kind of stuff. But we had multiple offers on the house and we were able to sell it. I had another property that I did my first flip. I have in many years. I haven't done a flip since I think 2015 or 16. I can't quite recall. But this property, put it on the market and got multiple offers. Both instances, actually, they both went for $25,000 over the list price with multiple offers. And again, I just was shocked at the prices that I'm getting for those. So we'll see how interest rates change the game in real estate. Are people going to be less aggressive because of interest rates? Or is the shortage of inventory just such that people are willing to pay the price and it doesn't really matter? Same thing on the commercial real estate side, on the multifamily, on the senior assisted living. Interest rates are going up. We have a property under contract and we're trying to lock in our rate. Our original thought or hope was that we're going to lock this rate in at about 4%. Now we're looking more like 4.6%. So big changes. And if you're underwriting a deal and it's really tight, luckily this had enough room where that worked. But if you're really tight on a deal and you're underwriting and you're sitting here going, well, 4.6, this is what I can pay, you might have to pay a little bit less. So is that going to affect cap rates? Is that going to affect the prices of these properties moving forward? It'll be interesting to see what happens. And I think the other thing that's interesting, Matt, is how sticky are these interest rates? How long are they going to continue to go up, or are they going to go back down eventually? Because we've seen this before in maybe 2018, interest rates went up to about 5%, and then they dropped right back down.
Yeah, I guess, we're not seeing the inflation, like in 2018, we didn't have the inflation that we have now, rather.
Right.
But it's hard to say. The demand, I think, for housing, it might slow down, but not, when I say slow down, it'll just not increase as big of a pace. It'll still be increasing because of the stock. There's just not new stock coming on the market and the demand is continuing to be strong. So when the demand is stronger than the supply, it's a seller's market.
Yeah. It certainly is a seller's market. I've seen that firsthand, both as I'm trying to buy and as I'm selling. It's certainly a seller's market. You don't have a ton of room to negotiate. Now, the one place that I do have room to negotiate is on the senior assisted living. And so that's been really nice. It's kind of fun to be able to negotiate again on some real estate, because it hasn't been very easy to negotiate. Now I do negotiate on every deal, but typically I can't take too much, right? I can't try to be too aggressive on my negotiating because, well, they just don't care, like, because they'll just sell it to somebody else, right? But on the assisted living, we do have a lot more room for negotiation, just because of, I think COVID really did some major damage to the market. So, um, anyway, so that's just some fun stuff going on.
Yep. But today we're actually going to be talking about a different topic. It's how
What's
to
that?
increasing your personal efficiency.
Yeah, man. That's a big challenge, and I think for a lot of people, myself included, increasing your efficiency. Uh, you know, look, I think a lot of us try to do it through technology, and that works, but there might be some better ways to do it as well. So technology definitely is great to increase your efficiency, but it can also cause confusion and distractions if you're doing it the wrong way. Um, it's really easy today to get distracted. It's really easy to be inefficient right now. We've got just there's so much around you. I mean, we got these computers, these handheld computers that we also do phone calls on sometimes. Um, Man, those things are are always by our side. I mean, look, I'm sitting here talking to you, and I've got it within reach. It's just they're always next to us. Something I've been trying to actually work on is to eliminate my usage of that handheld computer, right? And just figuring out how can I get rid of some of these distractions that are in my life that really zap my personal efficiency.
Yeah, it's something I've certainly struggled with in the past, but I've also had a lot of great success in the past too. It for me, it all depends on my decision. Like if I decide to be efficient with my day or with my hour or what have you, then I am. But if I decide like, oh, I can put this thing off, then I'm lazy.
But is there more to that than just deciding, Matt? I mean, what makes you decide that? Because why wouldn't you just decide that every day?
It depends on the importance of the task or tasks,
It's not necessarily the decision that you're going to be productive. It's the what the excitement of the task, or the or what do you feel it is?
well, it's yeah. If I decide that a task is really important for me to focus my effort on right then, and it's really timely of that, this needs to get done now, then uh, just my how much value I place upon that
Yeah.
task is how much effort I put forth.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And that's I think that's really important. And that goes down to hiring, and that goes down to using some specific technologies too, to try to eliminate some of those things that you're not going to be excited about, that you're not going to feel are important, and that you are going to delay, and it's just going to kind of just sit on the back burner. The more tasks that you can do that are of importance, and that you enjoy doing, and that you feel are important, that you feel need to get done now, the more efficient you're going to be. So if you can farm out some of those other things, that's where you can really grow in your efficiency, other than being busy, right? Everybody's busy. We can all be busy, because the things that you don't like doing, you're going to eventually do. It's just going to take you longer. You're probably going to not do them nearly as well as what they should be done. And you're going to hate doing them. And that's when you become busy and you despise what you're doing. That's where I think a lot of people that are employees start hating their jobs, is because they are getting caught up doing busy work. They start to take on busy work, or their bosses give them busy work. And it's stuff that they're not good at, don't care about, don't want to do. And then they start hating their jobs because that's what they get stuck with all day. It piles on, piles on, piles on. And that's how we start hating our business. That's how we start hating our job. That's how we really just dig ourselves into a hole and become really inefficient.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, with busy work, I think of the example of I have some gravel in my driveway that I need to redo. So I could either, move the gravel rocks one at a time with my hands, or I could use a tool like a shovel and a wheelbarrow to help me go faster, or I could hire it out to a professional who's got heavy equipment. It's going to take care of it pretty darn quickly and better than I
Yep.
could on my own.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that great analogy, right? I mean, is this, and most of us are going to pick it up by hand, or maybe we're going to get that wheelbarrow out. Most of us are going to pick it up by hand because that's the cheaper way to do it. That's the easier way to do it. That's just what we know. We don't have to put any thought into that. We don't have to think about where the wheelbarrow is. We don't have to go buy a wheelbarrow. We don't have to go hire somebody and trust that they're going to do the right job. But we could do it too, right? Oh, it's cheaper if we do it, and we know how to do it. It's just moving gravel.
Yeah, and it was a while back when we reviewed the book Who Not How, about if there's a certain
Yeah.
task that you're procrastinating doing, then it's your internal wisdom that is telling you that you're not the right person to do that. That's something you
Right.
should hire out.
Right. Right. 100%.
Hey, the North Star Real Estate Conference is back. It's May 2nd and 3rd, and this year it's a bit different. We're going to be hammering in on multifamily real estate, and we're going to show you asset management, value add strategies, raising millions of dollars through syndication, and how to find those hidden gems in today's market that are just so tough to find. And one of the biggest things I'm excited to bring you is industry experts that you're going to be able to put on your team so you can hit the ground running day one. So join us May 2nd and 3rd at the North Star Real Estate Conference. I look forward to seeing you there.
I was listening to Darren Hardy the other day, and he was talking about technology. He was talking about your phone, essentially, and how much time and energy that zaps from your day. And so going back to the phone, that's something I'm now trying to be really, really thinking about. And how many times do you just grab your phone, pick it up, and quick look at it, and you think it's innocent, right? You might be on a think of if you've ever done this, and this is extremely rude to do, right? And bothers me that I've done it. You're having a one-on-one conversation or even in a group, and somebody text messages you or somebody's calling you or something like that, and you reach and you grab your phone and you look at it, and maybe even go as far as to read the text, or maybe go as far as go, hey, I got to take this, I'm going to jump out for a second. I get if it's a true emergency, but most of the time it's not. Most of the time they can leave a voicemail. Why leave that phone in your pocket, or better yet, leave it at home, and don't have it with you. We've been so conditioned that this is such an important piece of technology for our lives that it's actually become a distraction for our lives. So many of these technology advances are meant to make our lives easier and better and more efficient, and yet we allow them to make our lives more destructive, right? We allow them to consume our lives and make us less efficient, less effective. But we've got all these tools, Matt. We've got all these apps. We've got everything is there for us to use at the tip of our fingers, but yet we are way less productive with those. Many of the top CEOs and business owners are using a piece of paper and pencil. They use scratch pads on a daily basis instead of their phones. Instead of all these data and spreadsheets, they're breaking it down much more simply. They've got sticky notes that they're using. Literally, that's what is happening. And they are some of the most productive people that are out there. They're ignoring some of the technological advances that are actually just distraction causers. Now, not to say these people aren't using technology, they're not in the Stone Ages, but they're being wise about how they use it, and they're trying to be effective on what they use. So for me, like, it bothers me, and you know this because, you know, you help out with the North Star Real Estate Conference, and you know this about me, is that when I have to have a Slack channel and I have to have a WhatsApp and I have to have a whatever, who's that, and blah, blah, and all this stuff, it's like, I don't want this crap because it just causes confusion in my life. Just give me one place to go and I'll go there. And I want everything there, quite frankly. So that's what I try to do when I look at technology is, yeah, I could use this app and I could use this and I could use that, but how about we just use this? And that's it, right? How about we use this one channel and that's it? Or maybe it's two, but let's try not to use 15 different things that all do the same thing, but we're using them and somehow mixing them together. So
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very clear, like multitasking that used to be a big thing is really just doing everything poorly all at the same time.
yeah, multitasking is the
So
worst. It's the worst. And I'm going to multitask right now, Matt, because I'm talking and I'm looking at something on my phone, again, a distraction, but I want to make a point. I've got this app called Sports Engine, and I got this other app called Group Me. And so, and the only reason I have those two apps are because Sports Engine is for my kids' sports. Okay. Keeps their calendar. Quite frankly, I never go into Sports Engine anymore because the schedule downloads to my calendar. Okay. So I use my calendar. Now, what you can do with Sports Engine is you can communicate through Sports Engine to other people on the team. So the coaches can use it to communicate with the parents. But instead of that, for some reason, parents on one of my son's teams decided that we're all going to use Group Me instead. So now I've got two apps that do the exact same thing, but I have to check both apps in order to know if I'm have everything. So let's say a practice gets canceled. Well, instead of canceling it on Sports Engine, they send out a message on Group Me to cancel it. Why? Why do I have two different places I've got to go to do the same exact task? And that's oftentimes what we're doing in our business life, is we've got 2, 3, 5 things that we have to check. And it's just distraction upon distraction upon distraction. And of course, that doesn't take into consideration, all the social media stuff. We're constantly looking at our social media accounts. We're constantly updating things like that. I go onto social media, but I try to spend very little time on it. I'm sure if you're connected to me on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, you might see my posts, but you probably don't see a lot of other interaction from me because I'm on there for very little time and I'm only using it. I shouldn't say only, because sometimes I get distracted and take too much time out of my day, but I try to only use it for business purposes and limit my time on it.
yeah, I think that's the key there. If you've got these apps, whether it's social media or games or whatever, that are distracting you, that aren't helping you towards your business goals and your life goals, then they're taken away. You're sacrificing your goals for the means of these distractions. And is that what you want?
Yep. I get people that look at me sideways when they find out I don't have any games on my phone. They find out I don't have any news feeds that pop up on my phone. None of these apps that I have pop anything up on my phone because I don't want those distractions. And I'm trying to go steps farther because I'm not saying I'm not perfect, Matt. Like, I'm far from it. I'm distracted from this stupid phone and from all other technology for way too many hours of my day, like way too many. It's literally hours, plural. Like, it causes so much distraction. It's ridiculous. And so I'm trying to do things to stem that, right? I'm trying to get rid of it. I have now, and again, it's right next to me right now. But I have made a decision that it's going to be plugged in my office away from me. And I might even move it out of my office so that I don't even hear it when it vibrates, when it rings. My phone has not had a ringer on for probably several years now. It only vibrates. And sometimes I completely turn it so it doesn't even make a vibrate or anything. But I think making that conscious decision that you're going to actually do that and then taking the action to do it is, to me, very, very valuable. We don't have to have that thing in a holster at all times.
Yeah. I mean, especially like you can just like schedule time to like, okay, these couple times a day, I'm going to check my email and you can get back to people, and then don't check your email, don't check your phone in between those times. Because otherwise it's easy to, just like check like, oh, what happened on Twitter? What happened, again, email or text or whatever. And
yep. Email super distracting. Talk about a zap of efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of the things I do, so I've got my calendar on my phone, but every Sunday, I take time, Sunday evening, I take time to go through my phone calendar and I actually write it down on a sheet of paper. So I've got a notebook and I time block. And on my notebook, for those who are watching, I got this notebook and I got a bunch of dates on there. I got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so on, Friday. And I write down what I'm going to be doing during that time. And so I'll fill in the holes with the stuff that's on my calendar. So if I've got appointments, it's filled in. But then beyond that, everything's time blocked. Everything else I want to do. So I usually, what I'll do is on the one side, I write a to-do list. Okay. So I've got a to-do list. To-do lists are garbage if you just have a to-do list. I have to actually put my to-do list over on the other side. And when am I going to schedule that for? So for instance, Matt, this morning, 8:30 a.m., I had a call, a meeting with my partners. Okay. At 9 a.m., I had a walkthrough at a property we've got under contract. At 11 a.m., I was calling potential sponsors for our conference. At 12 p.m., I had a meeting with one of my mastermind clients. Okay. At 1 p.m., you and I are meeting to talk right now. Okay. And so on. So I've got this all scheduled out. I know exactly what I'm doing today, and I can just reference this. I know, Matt, at 1:45, you and I need to be done because I've got something scheduled. So if we're not done, we're going to cut it off because I have something scheduled. That's on a simple piece of paper. I don't need technology. This is easier for me to read and understand if it's right in front of me. If it's a notebook, I take it with me. I don't want it on my phone. I want this on just a regular piece of paper. That's way easier. Now, again, I do have my calendar. That's technology because that integrates with a lot of other things. Somebody sends me a calendar invite through email. It goes onto my calendar. Right? I've got Calendly. Somebody books an appointment with me. It goes onto that same calendar. But then I transcribe that onto a piece of paper to make it so my brain can grab it and I see it all.
Yeah, makes sense. It's all right there. I mean, so whether you're using paper or if there's an app that is actually useful for one of our listeners, whatever's benefiting you to achieve your goals, that's the tool that you need to use.
Yep.
And
simplify it.
Exactly. Simplify it. The more focused you are and simpler, the more you're going to achieve.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, man, this world is full of distractions. I'm distracted all the time with so many things and it zaps my efficiency. And I would say most people would say I'm a pretty efficient person. I would say most people would say I spend a lot of time doing the right things. But man, I know that I have so much more that I could be doing if I actually was efficient with my time. And it doesn't mean I would be working that whole time. Like there would be a lot more opportunity for me to have free time with my kids, with my wife, with friends, if I actually was more efficient with what I do on a day-to-day basis. I wouldn't have to work so many hours. I could actually do less if I was more efficient.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oil the machine, man. You gotta do it, and you've got to maximize and figure out how you're going to do it. But again, I think the first thought of many people is, I got to go get another app. I got to go get more technology. No, use what's in front of you right now, and then figure out if you need to add something or subtract stuff, right? And most likely the case is you need to subtract some things from your life that are causing distractions. And a lot of it might be the technology that you've put in front of your face every single day.
Yep, I agree.
So, well, cool, man. Anything else, Matt?
No, that's it for today.
Okay, awesome. Well, hey, you have a fantastic rest of the day. Make every day a Saturday.
Thanks, you too.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. I appreciate you being a loyal listener. I would love to have you go on to our Facebook page and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, go on to iTunes or wherever you listen and give us a rating and review. Don't forget to subscribe. Your rating and review just helps us push this out to more and more people and continue to grow our audience and hopefully positively affect a ton of people out there that really need this and want this. So the other thing I've got for you is a free ebook on my website. So go on to venturedproperties.com, and download our free ebook on real estate and on syndication. And I've got some data points in there, some really good stuff for you. So I'd love to have you take a look at that. It's free. I'm not expecting anything from it. And also, look, if you want some help in multifamily, want some help learning, growing, getting your business off the ground, I would love to talk to you about what it would look like to work with me potentially and see if that's a good fit. So you can go to coachwithdex.com and check that out, and we can definitely have a call. Thanks a lot for listening. You make it a fantastic rest of the day. I'll catch you on the next episode.